What is going on, YouTube? RoboSushi here, bringing you guys another Digimon BT7 match. Today it'll be the finals match of a 1/3 case and mat tournament that my locals had today. The winner, top 4, was able to get a case, and then top 8 got a play mat, with first place getting a champion play mat. It will be me on the left. I'm playing the blue hybrid deck. I know there's been a bunch of blue hybrid on the channel recently, but this will probably be the last one for a little bit. I did want to show off this game. And then on the right is my opponent playing the red hybrid deck with the ancient Greymon package. So into the game, as you can see, I kind of whiff on my rookie, so I just have to play Davis. It's kind of my most optimal first turn play. Don't really have much else in my hand other than a few tamers. And my opponent digivolves into the Strabimon, dropping down an Analog Boy and then dropping a memory tamer Marcus of his own. So now he has tamers set up, he has memory, so there's not really going to be a memory choking on my end. And I still whiff the rookie after he passes turnover, so I just drop down a Tommy and a Koji. Kind of a waste, it feels sometimes on Tommy, but sometimes you just kind of want to have the body on board. And then with the Koji, again, it's just another body on board, passing him over to his 3 anyway. Here, the Flamemon does swing in, lives the check because I do hit the BT7 Strabimon, which is only 1k, and then my opponent plays down the BT7 Flamemon, the also 1k one of their own, trying to decide what they want to grab. You see they reveal the cheat into Promo Agunimon, but ends up taking the Aldemon, probably for future plays, maybe missing the package or having the cards in hand already. So here my opponent assesses the board, try to find out what he wants to do. I'm already going to go to 3 anyway, so he does decide to just go ahead, get a little bit more search, drop in the Flamemon. I do have to apologize for the shake a little bit there. I still was adjusting with the new camera setup. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of shake on the screen, actually quite a lot of bit of shake. But here he does search off another hybrid, does get to grab the rookie, probably to set up for future turns. Maybe whiffing a rookie in his hand, but has other pieces, is what I assumed. And here, I digivolve into the Korikakumon to freeze one of the Flamemon, and then swing over the suspended Flamemon, freezing the other Flamemon with Tommy's effect. And then I don't really have any other better play at this point. I just decide to digivolve into the Lobomon to get a little bit of cycle and pass my opponent over to... They're going to go to 3 anyway, so 2's pretty much the best I can do without passing them over to too much memory. So here my opponent digivolves into the Flamemon in the back. We knew he had it in hand, so probably prepping for future turns, like I said. And then with the 2 Flamemon frozen, just decides to get the Korikakumon off my field. That way I don't get any extra checks in, I'm not able to freeze his other Digimon. And my Lobomon swings in, I'm still whiffing a rookie. So here the Lobomon checks a Takuya, which pretty much a good chance to seal my fate. He will have plenty of swings on board. I don't have another Korikakumon in hand. So I digivolve my Davis into a Kumamon. It does die, but it does get me the cycle into Syakomon, so I do at least have a rookie in back. And at this point, I have the only play I really have is to drop down a Sworjo, so just in case something saves me in security, then maybe I will have a little bit of memory to work with, and then might be able to push for game. I do only have him at 3 security to my 3 potential checks on board, so it's not looking great, but my opponent does end up raising the Flamemon. Here he's got 3 swings on board with 2 tamers in back. So no real way to quote-unquote game me, because I don't think he has any way to gain the memory. He could drop a Boko, but he might not have it at this point. So he swings in with the Flamemon. It dies to a Kumamon. Swinging in with another Flamemon does hit a Ice Wall in security, passing him over to 1 memory. So now I know I can't 100% die this turn to, let's say, an Emperor Greymon. And then the Flamemon checks a Korikakumon, the last Flamemon. So it will put him over to 1 memory. But here you can see he does make the stack for the Takuya, and then goes ahead and digivolves into the Ancient or the Emperor Greymon with Piercing, going through the Lobomon, checking my last security. So the last security check is a Koji, but at this point I have absolutely no way to deal with this. I'm only at 4 memory. He did gain the memory off of the Marcus, so I only gained, I'd only go to 4 off of the Sworjo and not 5. But at this point I really don't have much to do. I digivolve into the Kumamon, strip a Source, it doesn't really matter, swing in, checking an Ancient, dying, swing in the Syakomon, hitting the Takuya out of security. I'm pretty much done at this point. Cycle into the Kumamon just to see maybe if there's something crazy that I can happen to if I go into this Beowulfmon, and at that point I go ahead and concede. There's absolutely no way, and I'm pretty sure he does have another hybrid in hand to finish it up, even if there was some way I could deal with it. So on to game 2. I end up going first. I'm still not 100% sure exactly how to work with this format. Sometimes it feels good going first, sometimes it feels bad. If you see my hand, I have 3 Tommies in hand. So this is a hand I absolutely cannot mulligan, even though I don't want to keep 3 Tommies. I'd rather have something else like a Memory Tamer. But I do get a rookie, so I get a rookie, Digivolve it. It's the Koji one. No Koji in hand, but I do set up a Tommy. I have a Korikaku, so there are some potential plays going forward. And here my opponent goes all the way up into the Agunimon in raising, and then plays the Analog Boy, probably looking for the Ancient Greymon, I assume, unless he may already have one in hand. And here decides to go ahead and take the Aldemon, passing me over to 1 memory. On my turn, I raise up into the Strabimon. I have to play very aggressive because this deck has very strong OTK potential. So here I go ahead and swing in with the Strabimon. It does in fact die. I'm not expecting it to live at 1k. And then I spark up, being a little aggressive, dropping down another Tommy to keep my opponent to as little memory as possible. But here you see he does end up raising, playing the Atomic Inferno, going to 0, swinging in with the Ancient Greymon, checking 4 checks, no Tamers, no Hammer Sparks, no nothing out of security to save me, suspending the Analog Boy to hatch, and then get the extra memory, choking me over at 1. I don't have a rookie, unfortunately, but he does have to hard play the Agunimon off of the effect of Ancient Greymon, so I do decide to capitalize on that a little bit, Digivolving into the Korikakumon to freeze the Agunimon. That way I don't have to worry about him having a raising up to just absolutely end me the next turn. So as you can see, my opponent has the Flamemon in back and then just decides to go ahead and play the Marcus, so he effectively has game on board pretty much handedly. There's one out at this point. I have played a Hammer Spark or 2, so my only other out here is to go ahead Digivolve into the Beowulfmon to get a little bit of cycle. I have another Hammer Spark in hand, so I swing the Beowulfmon, only freezing the Agunimon. I definitely don't want to have it in hand. I go up to my 2 memory, swing in with the Lobomon just to get another check in. It does live, so the fact that both of those are alive also puts me in lethal range. But with my opponent having 3 memory going to next turn, I just decide to go ahead and play the Tommy to pass him to his 3, be most effective with my memory. And at this point, I just really have to pray for a Hammer Spark or an Ice Wall of security. He has 2 swings on board. I know he probably has a Tamer or a Hybrid in hand, and swings in with the Flamemon and does in fact hit the Hammer Spark, passing him over to 1. So now there's no way that he can actually go into another Hybrid and swing for game. So here with only 2 security left, he does get a little bit of cycle with the Ancient, or with the Greymon over the Agunimon for 1, and then plays his Kuya just to pass turn. But here, I use the Beowulfmon, bouncing the Flamemon back to hand, swinging with the Lobomon. It is not an Atomic Inferno, so without there being an Atomic Inferno, I pretty much secure game 2 in a very close match, thanks to the clutch Hammer Spark out of security. So on to game 3, I believe my opponent does decide to go ahead and let me go first again. So here I do end up having a pretty decent hand. I don't have a Memory Tamer right off the bat, but I do have a Rookie and a Koji. It's good to always have a Rookie and a Tamer setup, even if it's not quite the Memory Tamer. Just good to have a Tamer in general. So this passes him over to 3. Normally that's what you're going to do in this format, I've realized, unless it's 2 with something maybe like a 2-drop Rookie, which doesn't really happen as often, or a something like a Analog Youth. But here my opponent thinks about playing the Zakuya, but decides to be a little bit more careful, play the Flamemon. Here he grabs the Aldemon, thinking he can grab the Analog Boy, but Flamemon does specifically require you to grab a red hybrid, not require, but can only grab a red hybrid, and then goes ahead and drops Zakuya anyway, passing me over to 3. Here I raise up. I do get a little bit of cycle off of the Flamemon since it is on the field, so I swing it with the Strabi, get the draw, play the Davis. Here I'm thinking I'm playing Strabi because I just swung in with it, so I take the Koji. We quickly correct that, and then here I decide to go ahead and take the Rookie out of my to my hand. I believe I have a Beowulf, so I don't really need the Beowulf in hand, and now I have a Memory Tamer and 2 Tamers and another Tamer set up, so I'm in a pretty strong spot. He swings in with Blow Flamemon, hitting a Sorajo and a Tommy, stripping the sources, leaving both of them without Digivolution sources, so Sorajo is active on both of them. Here he does Digivolve into the Burning Greymon, thinking that he can only Digivolve for 1, but since there is no Hybrid or Tamer in the source, or it's not a level 4, he does have to pay the full, so it does pass him over to 3 memory, and then I'll gain 2 because of the Flamemon, passing me over to 5, and here I hatch the egg, Digivolve Tommy into the Korikakumon, freezing the Flamemon, swinging, stripping the source underneath the Burning Greymon, freezing it as well with Tommy's effect, and dying to the Atomic Inferno. Not really super worried about it because I do have the other Lobomon in hand. Swinging in, Lobomon does live. So now I have 2 Memory Tamers, a body on board, and another body in the back, and then play the Davis just to get a little bit more cycle, guarantee that I have plenty of Tamers for follow-up turns. So when I play the second Davis, I do get to add a card from my hand. This gives me another Tamer on board, but also adding the card to my hand also makes it so where Koji gains me the memory. So now I'm able to pass my opponent over to 1, even though I've played a 4-cost Davis. So at this point, with my opponent not having a memory Tamer, he does have a body in the back, but both of his Digimon are frozen and no way to really go into a Takuya or anything for free, while I do have multiple swings on board if I do have the memory Tamers, or if the Sora Joe, especially if it does go off. But here, my opponent's trying to decide what he wants to do, counting how many hybrids he has in trash, guessing trying to see if he can go into the Emperor Greymon, but not quite hitting the mark. I believe he has 4 at this point. Digivolving into the Burning Greymon, putting him to 0. Probably trying to just reduce any chance of me going in too hard, guaranteeing that if I go to 5 memory, that I'll be able to just not have to worry about anything like an Atomic Inferno out of security, or Atomic Blaster, I should say. And he Digivolves into the Burning Greymon. First, check in with the Strabimon. I try to draw a card, but then I remember that there's no sources. Swinging it again, and having the hybrid in hand pretty much secures game 3 for me. So that'll do it for the match, guys. This was the finals match, so I did in fact get a champion playmat. It is a nice, cool Gallantmon playmat. Winning a box in this tournament felt really good. Blue hybrids just super, super strong in the format. Like I said earlier in the video, I have put a bunch of blue hybrid on the channel, but I probably put the deck down playing around with some other stuff. This is a really competitive deck, very strong. The memory tamer such as Sora and Joe and the Tommy Lock are just super, super strong. Everything I've mentioned before, and even in the deck video. But I wanted to show you guys this finals game, show you how destructive that both of these games can be and how quick the format can go. As you can see, there were multiple times where I got down to very little security and had a low chance at a crackback, but you always have to play to your outs. Don't always give up the second you see something. My only out in that second game was hitting a Hammer Spark in security, and I did in fact have to hit the Hammer Spark in security, and that did secure me the game. So just remember to not really give up when it might look like you're in a bad spot. You can still kind of clutch it out every now and then. But thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. That's my hand on the screen at the end of there. Sorry, I was kind of adjusting the camera. But if you did enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment about anything that you would like to know about the deck list. The deck list is posted up on the channel. The only thing a little bit different is the sideboard. So if you want to check out the deck list, you can see it. I'll try to have it linked in the end of the video or in the description. But other than that, be sure to like the video. Again, subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content. We'll have some more deck profiles, some more gameplay videos coming to you in the future as the BT7 format continues, and then also onward to whenever we get close to the BT8 format, which I'm personally super excited for. But other than that, guys, until next time, have a great day. Peace out.